Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? This is Trevor Wicken. I am the creator of the MS Gym, and I am super happy to be here on MS&Me Radio. So welcome. I'm super happy to be with you, and hopefully we can teach you some stuff and have you feeling good by the end of this with a little bit of guidance on how to exercise better. So I've created the MS Gym to give the MS community exercises that are specifically designed to manage the MS symptoms. Exercises that are specifically designed to work around the lesions in your brain and the demyelination in your body to help you improve your balance, your strength, your flexibility, your coordination, and just your ability to live the life that you really want. And a lot of the exercises that I do in the MS Gym are specifically, actually not a lot of them, all of them are specifically designed to slow down the progression of MS and or complement or enhance treatments out there that are designed to slow down the progression of MS as well. So one of the major MS symptoms that I almost always run into, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been working with the MS community for 15 years as a medical fitness specialist. Everybody usually comes in with a little bit form of some kind of foot drop or some kind of neurological control problem in the foot. And so I want to address foot drop today and how to really work through getting to that foot drop. What kind of exercises do you use? What are some techniques that you can use to really alleviate some of that problematic foot drop that shoves your toes forward, lifts your heels off the ground, and really throws off your balance? Now, I have full programs for foot drop on my site. It is exercisewithms.com, and you can actually go there and download a free MS exercise guide that specifically deals with foot drop. So I'll be talking about this program that is on that site, exercisewithms.com, and really kind of walk through it with you. So when you get there and you look at this program, you're like, oh, cool. Like, there's the program. Let's rock this out. This is exactly what Trevor was talking about. So foot drop is it's a form of spasticity. Okay, when you get MS and the demyelination in your body happens, it kind of short circuits your nervous system. It short circuits your neuromuscular system and the communication between your brain and your body, and especially your feet, because your nervous system starts at the brain. And then it weaves its way down like a root system all the way down to the base of your foot. And so if there's a lesion in your brain or in your spinal cord or some demyelination happening in the nerves in your legs and your feet, then you're definitely going to suffer with some kind of foot drop. And what happens is the signal, when the nerves get demyelinated, the signal actually slows down. And when that signal slows down, most people would think, well, wouldn't that cause the muscles to go like limp or weak? They could, but a lot of times what happens is that those muscles actually get locked into place. So the nerve communication along that nerve, because of MS, it slows it down so much that the communication between the nerve and the muscle gets really interrupted. And so what happens is that the muscle goes into a state of hyperactivity, which is called spasticity. And spasticity leads that muscle to kind of get locked into place, and you can't do much. There's not much movement that happens, and it's really troublesome and really problematic when you're trying to actually move well. So with foot drop, the two main muscle groups that are involved, the ones that are in spasm are going to be your toe flexors, or the muscles that curl your toes, and the ankle plantar flexors, so the muscles that point your toe or point your foot. Those are the muscles that are typically in spasm. So if there's a group of muscles around a joint that are in spasm, that means they have too much activity. They are hyperactive. If there was a volume dial, they would be dialed up to like 10. And then there's another set of muscles around every joint that are the opposite. They're called the functional opposites. And the functional opposites of the deep toe flexors or toe curlers are the toe lifters. All right. And they're responsible for lifting your toes and also dorsiflexing your ankle. And then you got your dorsiflexors of the ankle, which again are responsible for lifting your foot and your ankle. Okay. So those are hypoactive or underactive, or if they had a volume dial, they would be at a 0 or probably a 1. All right. So if you're in a room and you have a speaker turned up to 10 on the left of you and a speaker turned up to 1 on the right of you, it's going to sound really off. You're going to have a lot of noise coming from the left, and you're going to be straining to hear on the right, and it's going to kind of mess up your brain, right? So that's what happens in your foot when you have drop foot or foot drop, is that the muscles that curl your toes or drop your toes, they're overactive. And the muscles that lift your toes are underactive. The muscles that point your toe or your ankle are overactive. So point your ankle are overactive. Those are called your plantar flexors. And the muscles that lift your foot or your ankle are your dorsiflexors. Those are underactive. So how do we work on this? Well, how do you actually get rid of that? Well, we have to come up with a strategy. You can't just go exercise and hope that your foot drop is going to get better, because it's not. Because the body doesn't know how to actually get out of that spasm. It doesn't know how to work around that nerve that is the main roadblock going to your foot. It doesn't know how to actually activate other nerves to help your foot lift, because there's not one pathway, one nerve that goes to one muscle in your foot and your toes to help it lift. There is multiple nerves, many nerves that go to many different muscle fibers in the muscles that help you lift your foot. And so we've got to actually teach your brain how to activate those instead of trying to use the nerves that are being affected by MS, that are actually being scarred down by MS, okay? So there's a way that we go through to we actually release the spasticity first. Then we would go through and we would add length or flexibility or mobility to the muscles. So that's a lengthening. And then we would actually activate the muscles that are going to counteract your foot drop. Okay. So I'm going to walk you guys through this, and you can go to exercisewithms.com and download that exercise, guys. So you can see pictures of this. And then I also have a Facebook group called the MS Gym, which is the name of this show. So you can go to Facebook and look up the MS Gym and look up foot drop when you get in there. I have to approve you into the group, but look up foot drop, and there's videos on this as well. Okay. So I'm going to try to walk this through on the radio with you guys, and you can kind of just listen and visualize what I'm talking about. All right. So the first thing that we can do to help decrease that spasticity is we actually do a manual release. So it's kind of like massage or myofascial release if you've had that done. So what you're going to do is you're going to be sitting on your bed or somewhere where you can actually get to your foot. Or if you can't get to your foot, reaching down and grabbing your foot, I would probably have your care provider, caretaker, kid, husband, wife, nurse, anything like that. What you want to do is have them work on the bottom of your foot. So you're going to find the ball of your foot. So go ahead and do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb or your fingers, and you're just going to gently knead the muscles that are right on the base of your toe, that ball of that toe, and you're going to knead your way down that inside arch. So you're going to work your way from the ball of the toe down to the heel. So you're going to just massage that, like right there, like I'm actually doing it as I'm sitting at my desk here, and like there's a spot. It's like, woo, that's a party. That's what we want. We want to dive into that party and just mix stuff up, man. So you find that tender spot and you kind of rub through that. Okay. And once you find one of those spots, you want to sit there and kind of rub clockwise, counterclockwise, and then kind of up and down through that muscle tissue for about 30 to 45 seconds. Okay. And you want to start again at the ball of your toe, a ball of your big toe, and work all the way down to your heel. Now, the second step is to find the ball of your pinky toe. So you find your pinky toe, work down, you'll find that bone, which is the ball of your pinky toe. And then again, use your fingers and your thumbs to kind of work your way from the ball of the pinky toe all the way down to your heel. Okay. So you're going to take about 30 to 45 seconds to really work that out and kind of find it. Like right there, I just found a spot and I'm going to camp out there and hang out at the party, man, while I'm releasing that. Okay. All right. So once you've done 30 seconds on both sides of the feet, what I want you to do is I actually want you to grip your toes. So kind of grab your foot. You're going to wrap both hands around your foot and you're going to put your index fingers or your first fingers under your toes while the rest of your fingers are holding your foot, and kind of pull your foot back. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to pull those toes up manually with your fingers. So you just pull the toes up and hold it, and then let them come back down. Pull the toes up, hold it, come back down. Keep doing that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do about 10 reps of those. And what you're doing here is you're manually stretching those toes. And even though you may not be able to move those toes on your own, by you saying, hey, I'm going to stretch my toes, and you're telling your brain, we're going to stretch these toes. And the brain's like, oh, cool. We just released all that spasm out of that foot. So now I feel like there's a green light to stretch these toes. Your stretch is going to work better. Okay. So keep doing that and you should be about done. Now what you do after that, okay, is I want you to try and sit against a wall. Okay. So, again, these pictures are in that guide. It's a little bit hard to transition on the radio here, but what I want you to do, if you are able, is sit on the floor and put your feet against the wall. Or if you can go to your bed, sit in your bed and put your feet against your headboard or against the wall at the head of your bed. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your heels up against the wall. And when you put your heels up against the wall, and you sit up super duper tall. Now pull your belly button in towards your spine because we don't want a slouchy, lazy core. Okay. And now what you're going to do is I want you to keep your foot against the wall. And now I want you to just to look at your toes, do a little magic, just go, right? Give yourself a little magic wand, just look at your toes and you're like, toes, you're going to move. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to pull those toes away from the wall, and only your toes. I don't want you to try and crank it and try to pull your ankle back as well. I just want you to pull back on your toes, okay? So pull back on your toes. No. See, it's magical. And then let it come forward. Pull back. No. And even if they're not moving that much, you're still telling your brain, hey man, we're trying to move these toes. And so you're actually feeding neurological patterns into the brain. Now, if you cannot move your toes, what you're going to do is you're going to find like a necktie and make it it needs to be a lot longer. So you may want to do like a rope or a yoga strap or some kind of like sash or something along those lines, a stretching strap, because you need about a 5 to 6 foot strap so you can sit back. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually put that strap right under your toes like you had your hands before. And then you're going to hold both ends of the strap. And then now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and pull back on that strap as you tell your toes to pull back off the wall. So you're going to pull back on that strap, pulling those toes back, saying, toes, I will use so to pull my toes off the wall, and then let them relax. Pull back on that strap, toes come back, 1, 2, and then let it come back. Pull on the strap, pull it back, toes, 1, 2, and then let them come down. And you're going to do probably about 8 to 10 repetitions of that. All right. So I have a lot of people in the MS gym that put in comments, and I'm constantly commenting on the Facebook group, helping people out. People post up what they're having difficulties with. And my wife, Misty, and I pop in there as much as we can to get in there and answer comments. And a lot of times people are like, well, hey, Trev, I can't move my toes, right? I'm trying this and I can't move my toes. Well, number one is you got to use the magic number one. And then number two is like grab a strap. Because even though you're not manually or like you're not moving your toes completely, the more you work on massaging out those toe flexors or the toe droppers, and then going through this next series that we're going to go into for the ankle, those toes will eventually kind of start moving a little bit. And even if they don't fully pick up off the ground because your lesions may be bad enough that they can't do that, it's still going to shift. It's still going to teach the brain how that there's a pattern in there to actually lift the toes. So when you go to actually take a step, the brain wants to lift the toes. Okay. It wants to lift the toes because that is how the foot was designed. So if you feed that pattern into the brain, then it's going to stick there. So the next time you go to lift your foot, then you're going to be able to lift your toes too. Or you're going to be able to, the brain's going to actually say, I'm lifting my toes, even though you don't physically do it. So it's going to start changing your gait pattern. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's kind of like learning a foreign language, is that even though you don't know how to put all the sentences together in like a 5-paragraph essay yet, the vocabulary words are still in there. And these are like doing vocabulary exercises. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the ankle. So we've kind of worked on, we released the toe droppers, we stretched the toe droppers, and then we activated the toe lifters, okay? So now we're going to go into releasing the foot droppers, lengthening the foot droppers, and then activating the foot lifters. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit in the same position you did for your legs. And what I want is you're going to look at your leg, and right under that calf muscle, there's a muscle called your soleus, which leads down into your Achilles tendon. So everybody find your Achilles tendon and then kind of work your way back up till it feels not so tendony. It's more muscle tissue, right? So that is your soleus muscle. So what I want you to do is I want you to take about 30 to 45 seconds and find some spots on that soleus muscle. Okay, so you're going to kind of work your way kind of up and down like, woo, that, I just found a spot that just made my entire toe jump. That was awesome. That was a party right there. That's called a soleus shakedown, baby. So you're going to get in there on that soleus and you're going to work that muscle. So you're going to take about 30 to 45 seconds just working down that soleus muscle, maybe even a minute. And the thing is, this isn't a one time a day kind of thing. Like this is like multiple times a day. The more you can release these muscles that are causing your spasticity and causing that foot drop, the better off you're going to be. So if you're constantly rubbing your feet and pulling up on your toes with your hands and rubbing the soleus and then pulling up on your ankle with your hands, you're going to be rocking out. Okay, so this is going to really help you start to get movement back. And I've had people in the MS gym, I've only been open for a little over 2 months, start to walk again out of wheelchairs and their feet feel good. I've had primary progressive people start to lift their feet and like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy better how much this reduced my foot drop. And I've actually had people go back into their PTs or their physios and they're like, what the heck have you been doing? Like your foot is so much stronger. Well, we're changing the neural pathways, and that's what we're doing. All right, so now that you got that foot nice and relaxed, that soleus nice and relaxed, now it's time to stretch the ankle. So we get into the same position we did when we were stretching those toes with our hands before. You're going to wrap your hands around your foot in front of the heel. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to slowly just pull that foot back. So you're going to dorsiflex that ankle. So just hold it, 1, 2, and then come back down. Pull, hold it, 1, 2, come back down. Pull, hold it, 1, 2, and come back down. And you're going to do about 10 of those. So again, the concept here is we release that big soleus muscle that is throwing our foot down and dropping our foot and holding it in plantar flexion or in a foot point or a foot drop. We're releasing that first neurologically to tell the brain like, hey man, it's okay if we move this, calm down. And then we're grabbing the foot and we're pulling it back into dorsiflexion. 10 times. So you have to inhibit the overactive or the spastic nerves and neural tissue and muscle tissue before you try to stretch it. Because if you just go try to do flexibility exercises that you see MS stretching and you don't release that spasticity, it's not going to do you any good. It's just going to aggravate your nerves and it's just going to frustrate you. So you've got to release the muscles first that are in spasm, and then you go through and you actually do the flexibility part. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your wall or your headboard or the wall behind your bed or something like that, or your husband or your wife, and say, yo, man, I need you to work on moving my ankle. Get over here. I do it to my wife actually, she does it to me all the time. Baby, my neck hurts. Can you help me? So she has a live-in medical fitness specialist and like myofascial guy, a neurokinetic therapist. So, all right, so now that you're on the wall, put your heels against the wall. Okay, both, and you can do both feet. So you want to release both feet before you do the toe exercises and the ankle exercises, but I just kind of talked about one foot at a time. So you're going to release the toe, stretch the toe, release the other toe, stretch the toes. Then you're going to do that toe pull away with both feet at the same time. Release your left ankle or left soleus, move your left ankle, release your right soleus, move your right ankle, and then you're doing this wall pull away on the ankles too, okay? So your feet are against the wall, headboard, whatever. Now what you're going to do is sit up tall, pull your belly button in, and then I want you to pull both feet off the wall, keeping your heels on the wall, right? So heels on the wall, try to pull both feet off, and then let it come back. Heels on the wall, pull both feet off, and then let it come back. Heels on the wall, pull both feet off, let it come back. And you're going to keep doing those. You're going to do about 10 of those, okay? Again, if you have a problem with one or both feet, grab your strap, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put that strap under the balls of your feet or right along the balls of your feet, okay? Because you don't want any flex in the toes. So typically I tell people put it just right below the balls of the big toe and the pinky toe, either on one foot or both feet, okay? So when that strap's there, it's the same thing. You sit up tall, strap is engaged, hold that strap with both hands, okay? And then you're going to think to yourself, all right, brain, we're going to pull that foot back. Ready? And go. Pull that foot back and just lightly pull back on that strap. You really want to get that foot to start moving and that ankle to start moving on its own, and then just use the strap for assistance. You don't want to be cranking on that thing and doing it for you. Okay? So you really, really want to get back and kind of guide that thing back, hold it for 2 seconds, and then come down, pull back on that strap, hold it for 2 seconds, and then come down. And this will make a ton more sense when you see it on that PDF guide, because you can go to exercisewithms.com, and then you're just going to register for it with your name and email, and then you hit a download, and you're going to get a nice clean PDF that shows you exactly what to do. These instructions that I just went through on this show are all listed there, and there's pictures showing you exactly what direction you're pulling, exactly how to stand, and then there's some other exercises in that program as well. So once you get your ankles and your toes balanced a little bit more, you want to get up and use them, all right? So I know a lot of you guys are in chairs, and if you're stuck in a chair, that's kind of unfortunate, but you can work on these exercises regardless. You're just going to have to pull up and down in your chair, all right? You just are not going to be able to straighten out your legs, which is fine. Use a strap to lift your foot. Use a strap to lift your toes. It's going to help you move those feet and stimulate that nervous system, whether your feet can move or not. So it's still good to do these. Now, if you can stand out of your chair, after you do these exercises in your bed, then stand up and let your body feel it, and then sit back down and rest. Stand up, let your body feel it, rest, sit back down and rest, or move or transfer over to your chair, and then stand up and down out of your chair using your walker or using a friend or whatever it may be. Because once you get those feet balanced, you then want to stand up on your feet so that your brain's like, oh, this is what it feels like to use these muscles and actually stand upright. So when you stand, that's what's called an integration exercise, which is where all the muscles in your body, or many muscles in your body, have to work together to actually create a movement pattern. And that movement pattern is standing and not falling over. So after you do these foot exercises, you want to stand up. And if you are able, whether it's on a walker, on a cane, on walking sticks, or trekking poles, or on your own, on a wall, hand on a wall is fine too, start walking, okay? One step at a time. Take it time. You don't want to walk fast. It's just one step, pause, find your balance. Take another step, pause, find your balance. Take another step, pause, find your balance, and that's your cadence. And you're going to walk 10 to 20 to 30 steps or whatever, and then you get to rest. And by doing that, again, it's integrating your body. So if your body only knows, because of MS, if your body only knows how to walk with plantar flexion or with foot drop, you've got to teach it how to walk without foot drop, with dorsiflexion, without plantar flexion, with toes lifting up, with your foot lifting up. And you've got to get that brain to actually start understanding how to use this new language that you're teaching it to work around the damaged nerves in your body that are causing you to have foot drop. So this whole concept is called neuroplasticity. It works. There's research out. The body can change itself. The body can heal itself. And I'm telling you guys right now that if you practice this stuff and you're diligent about it, it will make a change. And even if your toes don't ultimately lift, doing these exercises, and this is for shows down the road, actually stimulates other muscles in your body to work, because all the muscles are connected together by your fascia and by your nervous system. So while you may just be working on your foot, you may actually activate or stimulate or strengthen some muscles in your hips to work better, or your core to work better, or your neck to work better. And it's going to help your posture regardless. So this is just good stuff to do to start stimulating your nervous system again and kind of fighting back against the symptoms of MS and that neurological disturbance that happens when muscles get too overactive one way, right? And hypoactive or underactive in another way. So again, just to recap, we're going to calm down the muscles that are spastic, okay, or overactive. We're going to, and then lengthen them, add mobility to them. Then we're going to activate the muscles that counteract that spasticity, that are weak. We're going to make those stronger. So our entire goal is to add balance back into the ankle. And then when you stand up and use it, you start retraining your brain how to actually walk properly again. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Again, what you want to do is you want to go to www.exercisewithms.com. And then when you get on that page, it's going to go to a web page, and you're going to select the program that says Managing Foot Drop, mobility exercises for managing foot drop. You click on that button that says, give me my exercises, put in your name and email address, and then you get an instant download of that PDF, and you get to go there. You get to download your PDF, whether it's to your computer, your phone, your tablet, whatever it may be. And then I'm always with you, and you can practice this anywhere. So you don't really have to remember what I said to do. You don't always have to have a video with you. You're going to have that guide with you so you can look at it, while you're out, while you're at a park, while you're practicing walking, while you're at a family event, while you're traveling, whatever it may be. So you always have a little MS exercise guide with you. So the other thing is, if you guys would want, it's a free Facebook group. It's a closed group because I only am letting MS patients in. Go to Facebook if you're on Facebook. If you're not, that's cool. You may want to just join just for this. So go to facebook.com and then just type in the MS Gym, and you'll see it pop up. It'll say the MS Gym, and all you got to say is join this group, and we'll get you in, we'll get you rocking, and we'll get you into the awesome community that we're starting to build. We have almost 3,500 people in that group. It's growing every day, and I hope you're part of it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Go to the MS Gym, rock this out, and thank you MS&Me Radio for letting me on. I'm super excited to help you guys, and we'll see you next time.